was concerned for safety of children and of the pets. Officer Druck here with Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Officer was kind enough to assist with keeping crowd control with all these little hooligans here. And I say them affectionately. No, they were great, because actually what happened was it's a perfect opportunity to educate the kids and the parents, because this gator is protected. It's a protected species. We have a very healthy population of gators, okay? But what happens is people think it's fun and games to throw food to the gators. And what happens, that's a misdemeanor felony. That's punishable by a big fine and going to jail. And then anything and everything that you have with you is also confiscated. You'll never be allowed to hunt or fish again in the state of Florida. Okay? What happens is that you wind up teaching the alligator bad habits. We don't want to do that, right? Because the law is 4 foot and above. If it's called in by the community and the citizens, it's supposed to be killed. Okay. This gator, though, it's its lucky day, because what's going to happen is I'll get the hook out of her or him, because there is a fish hook. I'll show you here. Somebody hooked while fishing, because this is a hook with a jig head on it. So I'm going to remove that hook, clean it up. It'll be fine, okay? Gators are very resilient creatures. See, they got a little boo-boo on the tail too. See? So the tail scoots get very sharp, so you gotta be careful with that. But obviously their teeth are super sharp. What I do too is I take their eyes, because what happens is that keeps them quiet once I put them in the transport box, and I keep them comfortable. Because this way then they don't go bouncing all over the place. You guys have any questions? No questions?
How is this one?
Why the alligator can't walk?
Oh, the alligator can walk. These alligators are called what we call high steppers, young man. They'll get up on all 4 legs, and then they'll drag their tail, but they'll get their belly up off the ground. Now, crocodile, they're low riders. They just skim across the surface of the grass or the driveway or whichever. That's okay, but that's why you have to always be alert, because if his mouth wasn't taped, or even if he slapped the officer, if I didn't have my grip on him, those little pearly white teeth they have, I call them puppy teeth on steroids, means that they're super sharp, and they're super sharp. They'll cut you like a kitchen knife, or like a fishing knife is really, really, really sharp. It'll slice you really bad. Then you get infection, and that's where it's really bad too. It's not just that you got cut and you may need stitches, but then what happens is, why were you that close to an alligator? You go to the doctor. The doctor has to report it, because they're protected. It's against the law to touch the alligator. The only reason I can touch the alligator is because I have a license to it. Right? That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So, are we supposed to be feeding any of the wildlife?
No.
No. Do we not want? We don't want to feed the fish or the turtles or the ducks, right? We don't want to do that because the alligator could be around. Then he gets used to people coming towards the water. They don't know the difference between you folks, this officer or myself or mom or dad. We don't look the same. We're just people going towards the edge of the water, and somebody throws food in and say, "Ooh, it's time to eat." Instead of going away, they come to you. That's bad gator behavior. We don't want that kind of gator behavior. That's why they can't be released to the wild once they've been corrupted. That's the word, corrupted. That means bad habits, and people corrupt the animals. Just like with our bear, our black bears, people don't want to put their trash away. They don't want to put them in it, leave it in their garage. They wind up, the bears come into a neighborhood and knock the cans over to get in the trash. But then people don't want the bears around. It's not the bears' fault. Not the alligator's fault. All the building that's going on around here, the water's low. You guys got any questions? Any questions? Any questions? No questions?
How this one guy here?
Oh, this is their home. The I mean, this is their home, sir. They'll come across the street from another community in the middle of the night. I get calls at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for a gator that's been. Actually, I had one that was on Vanderbilt Beach Drive that was under one of the officers' cruisers on the median. Wound up in the roadway. They stopped to block the traffic from coming. It was late at night. It wound up underneath one of the officers' cars. And I get dispatched to go out, and I got to get on my hands and knees to pull a 5 or 6 foot gator out from underneath the vehicle. You know, and at that point, there's not a lot of room. And like I said, an animal that big is really, really strong. And it got a really, really hard bite. I've never been bitten. I don't plan on being bitten, folks. This is not fun and games. But what happened was, when the officer and I walked up, the kids were excited. They came running up, and they were loud. And what happened? I just turned and did what? Put my hand up. Stop. Please listen to Ray the Trapper, because if they come down and cause a commotion, and that gator was right out here, disappears. Because they get spooked, they get scared. They know I'm here already, meaning the gator. The gator can sense when I'm coming around because I'm different, meaning just like if you've got a dog that doesn't like somebody, they sense the difference. I'm not afraid of the gator. I have a very healthy respect of the gator, but they know I'm coming to get them. Now, like if you go, they're supposed to go the other way. The problem is when they come to you, right? There's no question other than, yes, sir.
What are the differences between an alligator and a crocodile?
Okay, the alligator and crocodile. Our American crocodile can get much bigger. And typically an alligator, a male alligator will get up to 15 feet, 16 feet. A male crocodile can get up to 20, 25 feet. So this is, again, these are the numbers. And again, this is the only place in the world that alligators and crocodile coexist. They live in the same areas. And yes, we do have crocodile here on this coast. But they have a long snout, and their teeth, like you see this, when I say long snout, see how this alligator snout is round and it's kind of blunt? Yep. And this, you know what these bumps are called on the back, sir? These are spoots. S-C-U-T-E-S. Each one of these is actually a little blown plate, and what that actually is like a little solar panel that absorbs heat because they're cold-blooded animals. They need to regulate their temperature. So what happens is this also gives them protection from the top, but they're really like, hi, how you doing? Yes, sir.
What are you going to do with a crocodile?
Well, this is an alligator, and this alligator is going to go to a farm. I'm going to measure it to make sure that it's over 4 foot. If it's over 4 foot, it's going to a farm that I deal with in LaBelle. If it's under 4 foot, I can release it to the wild, but I can release it to a place where other big gators won't eat it, because they will. Yes, honey?
How can you tell if that alligator or crocodile is a girl or a boy?
Well, you have to probe their back, which means they will find out, because this is, and that's the only way. Not that they've got pretty eyes, they don't wear lipstick, they don't wear a little ball cap. And this is actually a little girl. They're spikette. But they're amazing creatures, just amazing. And that's why we have to keep them around. We have to take care of them. Yes, sir?
How old are alligators?
They can get pretty old. They say that in captivity, being a zoo or a farm or facility, they can get to 50 to 60 years old. But out in the wild, they've been known to get older, and they do get large. Like I said, they're slow growers. After the 6 foot mark, their growth slows way down. So we'll measure. Let's see. I'm going to try to gently get the hook out, and then I always keep a hand on the gator, because